Recording myself here live on Facebook for my audience. I don't have a webcam on my computer, so therefore this is on the iPad, filming me talking. Simultaneously, I have the podcast going and recording the speech through Anchor, which will be, uploaded to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. In addition, I am recording my screen here as I'm going to walk through and post this, by the way, to the YouTube channel on Stock Showdown and onto Facebook as well for you all to view what I'm actually broadcasting right now. So you're only obviously seeing me, but you'll be seeing the video of walkthrough of what I'm seeing and going to walk you through as far as the preview of the new product here at Stock Showdown. And we're calling it the Bracket Challenge. Obviously, this is coinciding with the March Madness basketball tournament that I guess officially kicked off yesterday with the selection show for the men's tournament and the selection show for the women's tournament today. Nonetheless, the play-in games for the men, they begin on Thursday. I don't think there's any women's play-in games. And then the field of 64 begins on Friday for the men and respectively, I believe, on Saturday for the women. So really, this is where Stock Showdown actually began. I had a student come in a couple years ago and asked me, Mr. Anderson, could we watch March Madness in class today? And this was a Thursday, the first Thursday of the college basketball tournament. And it's a big, big day, opening day for the brackets. And it usually starts at like noon and goes to like midnight. So nevertheless, I immediately dismissed the student, said no, absolutely not, and carried on with the lesson. Then I started to think about it. I'm a big sports fan, as maybe you've seen throughout the various podcasts and videos and things of that nature. So I immediately then started to think, how can I tie this into what I'm teaching with business and investing and tie that into March Madness? So then I just started drawing brackets all over the boards. And then instead of the teams, I started putting publicly traded companies in the bracket. No rhyme or reason. I just started putting companies on the board. And then basically gave my students a bracket and said, here, you want to watch the tournament? Here it is. You got to fill out this bracket first with all these publicly traded companies, and we'll determine points based on the rounds, et cetera, et cetera. So really, this is how Stock Showdown was founded. It was founded on this product. It's made some changes throughout the years here, but I'm going back to the roots here. So we're going back to a bracket challenge, and we're introducing that today for the Stock Showdown. So what you're going to see on a video tutorial is me walking through and guiding you on the bracket and the layout of it. Now, as Stock Showdown has begun, we have 11 major industries in the economy. Of those 11 major industries, I have taken the 32 top market capitalization teams within each of the 11 industries. Quick math, that gives you 352 organizations involved within the Stock Showdown. Okay, so of those 352 teams, only 64 are making the tournament. All right, so instead of 11 industries, I took at random 4 of the 11 industries. So 4 of those 11 industries will be involved in the Stock Showdown Bracket Challenge. Here are the 4 industries. They are consumer cyclical, communication services, consumer defensive, and technology. Those are your 4 industries competing in the Stock Showdown Bracket Challenge. Now, within each one of those industries, as I had mentioned, there are 32 companies within each of the 11 industries. So instead of taking obviously all 32, I'm splitting that in half and taking the top 16 from each of those 4 industries. Now, it doesn't have to be the top 16 market cap companies. This is where the actual regular season, the last 10 weeks, has actually mattered. So each and every week over the last 10 weeks, these companies have been tracked and their performance has been tracked since January the 4th through March the 12th. I took the percentage change from the opening day on January the 4th, that was the first day of trading, and then took them all the way down through March the 12th, I measured the percentage change. Whatever 16 companies had the greatest percentage change from January the 4th through March the 12th made the tournament from that industry. Then they were seeded. Just like they were in college basketball, the number 1 goes against the 16, 2 against 15, 3 against 14, so on and so forth. So what you're going to see on this bracket then is 1 going against 16, 2 to 15, all the way. So all those matchups for each of the rounds, each of the 4 industries, you'll see that. And those games and those matchups in round 1 will start to take place beginning March the 18th. That's the Thursday. That's when the tournament starts for college basketball. Yeah, they're the play-in games, but nevertheless, they're going to be going from 3/18, that's March 18th, through March 19th. So instead of a 1-game winner-take-all, this is going to be a 2-day measured performance. Okay? So starting on March 18th at 9:30 a.m. through Friday 4 p.m. close, the percentage change of each one of these 64 companies will be measured against their competitor. And whoever has the best 2-day performance in each one of those individual matchups moves on to the next round. And that continues, and that process continues all the way until the championship game, which will start April the 5th and run through April the 9th. Okay, that is the only one that is going to be a 5-day performance instead of each one where there's a 2-day performance. This will all be laid out for all of you guys to visualize as I'm presenting this data. So again, let's reiterate. 4 major industries chosen at random: consumer cyclical, communication services, consumer defensive, technology. 16 companies within each one of those industries. That's a field of 64. Each and every round, except for the championship round, will be a 2-day performance measure. Okay? It's going to be your objective as the audience member, if you want to play and you want to participate, get your picks in before 9 a.m. on Thursday, March 18th. Each round or each game or each matchup that you get correct of what you pick will get 5 points. 5 points for every matchup that you get correct. I don't want you to fill out the whole bracket just like college basketball would. I want to give everybody a fighting chance and keep you vestedly interested from March the 18th all the way through April 9th. So we're going to do our submissions 1 round at a time. March the 18th, you need to have your round 1 picks in by 9:30 a.m. 5 points for every correct entry. Round 2, same thing. 5 points for every correct entry. So on and so forth. And your point totals will build. Keep you vestedly interested all the way through the championship game, April the 5th through April the 9th. Now, I'm going to now illustrate and walk through the video tutorial that I'm going to post later, how to navigate and find all of this information. So right now, what you've been staring at for the last 9 minutes as I'm, giving this tutorial and walking through my screen share here is the bracket itself. All 64 companies. I'm going to now switch over and navigate to my Twitter page, which I have to find at this moment. I apologize. Of course, it's giving me some slow bandwidth here. I think I have too many things going on simultaneously. But anyways, nevertheless, I have now screen shared and screencasted my Twitter page, Stock-Showdown. And I'm going to directly now bring you to a website, Stock-Showdown.com. All right, giving it some time here. This is now all being screencasted, by the way, bringing you to the Stock Showdown website. The Stock Showdown website homepage now has the Stock Showdown Bracket Challenge. All right, first tab down, how it works. All right, I'm going to hit this drop down of how it works. And basically, what I have stated over the last 10 minutes is detailed in bullets for all of you to see. So if you need to, get any sort of reiteration of things you may have missed, go to how it works. It explains it all in bullet points. The only thing that it might not explain is the fact that for the grand prize, if you have the highest point total, after all submissions are in, $100 Amazon gift card to the winning point total. So if you have the maximum amount of points, after all rounds are said and done, $100 Amazon gift card coming your way from Stock Showdown. Now, it does cost you, if you want to participate and be eligible for the $100 Amazon gift card, $10 per bracket. So it's $10, which it can be paid through Venmo. Also, if you're looking at this website, I have added the PayPal checkout features and a debit card, credit card feature right here embedded in the website. So whatever your preference is, it's $10, and that's Venmo through Stock-Showdown. I believe that is how you can Venmo me. Or again, the PayPal features, the links that are directly built into the site. Following that is the bracket itself, the whole bracket that I was just showcasing, which again, you'll see momentarily. An image shot of the bracket, but it's really hard to see. So what I decided to do is give a snippet of each one of the regions or each one of the industries of the 4 in pictures. So you can scroll through at the bottom and see each one individually. There's technology. There's consumer defensive. There's consumer cyclical. And there's communication services. So individually, you can see each one and the companies enlarged for you to be able to see a little bit more clearly. Now, if you want to do any research, I have built that all into the Q1 season standings. You can see in a snapshot how each one of the companies have performed over the last 10 weeks and where they ranked in each individual industry of the 11. Obviously, we're only really focused on 4 for this time around. I'm getting really excited because I want to do this continuously every quarter. That the season will be a 10-week season. Then we'll get the rankings, and then those rankings will determine the seedings for the tournament that will happen quarterly. All right? Once you're on the website, you've done your due diligence, you've done your research, you would then go to the navigation bar, the banner at the top, hit the button that says Play Now. Now, obviously, right now, you can't see that, what I'm navigating through right now, but you will when I post this later. All right? So now there is a form to submit your picks. All right? You're going to start by putting your email address. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to do my email, which is Wanderson@Stock-Showdown, stock-showdown.com. So if you ever want to reach out to me, please use that email address. And I'm going to go with my usual username of Wandy. Could also go with Anderson Educate, but I'm going to go with Wandy because that's tried and true. All right, so now there's 4 sections to this form because there's 4 different industries. And each section has 8 matchups. 8 matchups times 2 because there's a competition between two competitors. That gives you your 16 teams. So as I'm looking at this and I'm going down consumer cyclical, matchup number 1, as an example, is Ford Motor Company. FYI, Ford did have the best 10-week performance out of all 352 companies in the Stock Showdown within the last 10 weeks. I believe their percentage move over the last 10 weeks was about 53%, something like that. Biggest mover. They are obviously then the number 1 seed coming out of consumer cyclical. They are going against the number 16 seed, Ross Stores, Inc. So that'd be ticker symbol F versus ticker symbol ROSS. You don't need to know the ticker symbols, again, unless you want to look up that information, but that is all on the Stock Showdown website. So, you can see all the matchups, do your due diligence. I'm going to break down for the next 3 days, beginning tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Every morning, I'm going to do a separate podcast, and I'm going to break down each and every matchup within each and every industry. Obviously, I'm going to have to do double duty one of these days because I'm already a day behind. And I'm already 15 minutes in right now to this one. And I don't want to analyze an industry right now. We're going to save that for the podcast. So I got double duty tomorrow. We're going to do 2 industries tomorrow, one industry on Wednesday, and the last one on Thursday. Making sure that you have enough information to make